Hi, welcome to Mojo Designs, where life and art blends. Today we're going to be creating some watercolor envelopes. I found this watercolor lettering paper that's 90 pound at Michael's. It's on clearance, so I would go check your Michael's because it was only $8, so it was half off, or a little more than half. So anyway, I love this paper. I accidentally got watercolor on it, which is no big deal. Most of that's going to get cut off anyway. So we're using the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board and this 90 pound watercolor paper that is for lettering. This 90 pound paper is a cellulose paper, so it's 100% cellulose, which means it's all wood pulp, which is totally fine. It's more like a student grade watercolor, and it's really meant for hand lettering with watercolor or with different type of markers, and it gives you this little bit of tooth like watercolor does, cold press. So it's a really fun paper. It is thin enough to where we can turn it into an envelope, which I absolutely love. I have seen Christina Warner's series, snail mail series, where she does mail art. She decorates envelopes, so it's kind of inspired from that. I did use the measurements that were on the tool, the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and it said we need to do 8.125 by 8.125. It ended up being too small for an A2 size card, so I did kind of scour the internet. I haven't tried it yet, but I did find that a lot of people do an 8 by 8 piece of paper, and I think they were scoring at and cutting the notches out at 3 5/8. So there's lots of information online to where you can figure out different dimensions. I have a bunch of them written down that I want to try and find out what's going to be the best A2 measurements to get the A2 envelope. So it was super simple. I started using my Teflon bone folder, and it was kind of bulky and it really wasn't working. So I did use the bone folder that is provided with the tool, and that did work out a little bit better. Here I'm cutting off that little point because I like my envelopes to look a certain way. Now we're going to be taping this down. We're going to be doing 3 different things: freehand watercolor, and then we're going to be doing some stamping using Mama Elephant stamps. So cute. And doing some no-line watercoloring with those. Also taking a watercolor envelope and putting some black ink over top of it to mimic a pen and ink. It would be awesome as well. There's so many different ideas. I would have you search for mail art videos or mail art on Pinterest. There are some amazing, amazing artists who have so much creativity on decorating their envelopes. I lean more towards simplicity. Here I'm doing a very quick watercolor rose. I mentioned before that this is cellulose paper. It does react a lot differently versus the 100% cotton rag that I usually paint with. So it'll pool in places on the cellulose paper because it's not as absorbent as the cotton rag, which is totally fine. It just gives it a unique look. My tip for when painting on cellulose paper is not to overwork it. Just let the water and the pigment do what it's going to do, and I think that that's the most beautiful. I did overwork the rose a little bit because I wanted to add more color. I was kind of fidgety. I added more water. The green bled into the rose, which is totally fine. I don't know why I just didn't leave it. I think this looks great as it is, but I'm like, no, I want to cover that up. So I don't always follow my own rules, but when it does come to the cellulose paper, it is much easier and I think prettier just to let the water and the pigment do what it's going to do on the wood pulp paper. Here I'm going to be showing you 2 envelopes that I did as practice before hitting record. And the first one, I just did a ton of different leaves and flowers. And that one, I just did like the background. I think they turned out beautiful. They're going to be beautiful envelopes to send to someone special. We're going to be working on the stamping version. So we're using Mama Elephant stamps. I'm leaving this portion in again. I'm showing you that with their bone folder, it goes so much quicker. So that was really the only reason leaving this in. And I also forgot to punch my notches, which is really easy to do, to go back and do if you forget like I did. You just line that little lip that you see there, the little, I don't know what you call that, plastic tail up with your score line. And you go ahead and punch it, and then you have your little notches. Again, we're going to be taping this off. I really didn't need to tape this one off because I wasn't coloring over the whole envelope, but I did do some masking with the stamps, you know, masking off so, you know, it looks like it's coming off the edge. That's the stamp set. It is so cute. In the description bar below, I'll leave a link to it and the name. I just don't remember the name right now. And I absolutely love this little cheeky guy. I'm using Simon Says Stamp Barely Beige ink. And that is perfect for no-line watercoloring. However this ink is made, it is amazing because once a color hits it, it darkens to whatever color on the stamped lines. It'll darken that. And it looks like you painstakingly watercolored everything. I did leave the elephants a little lighter than I normally would. Again, painting on, let's say, my Arches paper that is a cold press 100% cotton rag is so much different than on the cellulose paper. But it's still doable and it still looks adorable. So I was really trying to go for not overworking it. I love this little scripty font. It says big hugs. This envelope is obviously for my granddaughter. We love to send each other snail mail. We live in different states and we love and miss her very much. She is 3 years old and just perfectly perfect in every way. And we love to send each other snail mail. So it's so much fun. So I'm creating these different envelopes to send to her. And it's just so much fun. She received a card that I sent her this week, and I guess she sat down right away and had to return and draw me a picture, and she absolutely loves stickers, and so we have an entire wall of all of her artwork that she sends us, and we absolutely love it. Here I'm taking watercolor. I have my watercolor palette off to the side. I use a variety of different professional grade watercolors. You don't have to use professional grade. You can use student grade, you can use craft watercolors, whatever you like. You can use ink and use that as watercolor. I'm just using what I have. And I mixed together a burnt sienna and ultramarine blue to get this gray color. I usually tend to have it lean more blue versus a warmer gray color. And it's just so much fun. I'm going to stop here and let you listen to some music. And I hope you enjoy the process, and I will catch up with you at the end. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. just going to be finishing up painting these adorable images. Here I'm going through just adding some shading, some shadows, just to make it pop a little bit. Towards the end, I'm just going to take a thicker mixture and do a little bit of outlining to where I think some more details need to be. And this video is almost over. Now I'm just showing you how I just quickly use my ATG gun. You can also use score tape. That would probably be even stronger. And here I'm just leaving in all my mistakes for you. I put the adhesive on the wrong side. No big deal. If you're using your ATG gun, it rubs off really easily. And there is our envelopes. So here's the first one. I love how the watercolor did turn out. And here is the little elephant. So adorable. I did do a few watercolor, what are they called? Clouds in the background. Again, just trimming off that little bit of a point because I want it to look like, you know, an old school invitation envelope. You don't have to do that. So there are the two envelopes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each one of you, and I hope you are inspired to create. Have an amazing, creative day full of good vibes. Please like, subscribe, and share. Also, if you're inspired, please tag me at Mojo Designs. Bye!